So this is the LG G6, one of 2017's most underrated smartphones. But how does it stack up now, a year later after its release? Especially after other amazing smartphones such as the Galaxy S9, Pixel 2, Pixel 2 XL, and the LG G7. So is the G6 still worth picking up today? Let's find out. Yo guys, my name is TSP and welcome back to TSP Tech. Today we'll be looking at another in 2018 video. Last time I did the Moto 360 in 2018. If you want to check it out, links will be down below or card on screen now. But today we'll be taking a look at the LG G6, all its pros, all its cons, and ultimately figure out if it's still worth picking up today. So let's get started. First up, what's in the box? Well, I did an unboxing about a year ago. You can check that out again, links down below or on screen now. And what you get in the box is actually the phone itself, charging brick, which is fast charge by the way, more info on that later. A USB-C cable, which isn't very durable. In fact, I kind of broke it after about 5 months. A SIM ejector tool, no headphones. I don't know if it was just my specific review unit, which by the way, LG did send out this phone for me, so thank you. But it didn't come with headphones. I don't know if the retail units do come with headphones, but for mine, it did not come with any headphones. And of course, the boring paperwork, and you don't get any stickers because this is an Apple, so yeah. In terms of design, the LG G6, in my opinion, is one of the most beautifully designed phones of 2017. It's just two pieces of glass slabbed together with an aluminum frame, and it just feels so premium to hold in the hand. On the back is Gorilla Glass 5, and then on the front is Gorilla Glass 3. Now the phone is a little slippery to hold, so I would recommend a case or even better a skin. In terms of durability, the back glass took it the most. There's a bunch of scratches on the bottom and around the camera. In fact, I had to replace the camera lens because that broke. There are scratches along the aluminum sides as well, but other than that, nothing too noticeable. Just the back glass is kind of torn out. Also, this phone is rated IP68 water and dust resistant. Keyword resistant. It can handle water up to 1.5 meters for 30 minutes, but that's it. Like, don't go swimming with this phone. Just because it's water resistant doesn't mean you should go swimming with a phone or anything that's water resistant. If it's waterproof, sure, go ahead, but not water resistant, because that means there is a slim chance you could break it. And yes, like the idiot I was, I dipped this in salt water, which you're not supposed to do. Jeez. Oh, it's salt water. Yeah, don't ever do that. But I got the shot. It looks freaking dope. Alright, moving on. Now the display. One of the most beautiful parts about this phone. It is a 5.7-inch gorgeous QHD 18:9 display with a resolution of 1440 by 2880. It is an IPS LCD display covered by Gorilla Glass 3 as previously mentioned, and it has a PPI of 564. The display gets decently bright outdoors and even has an always on mode, which is kind of weird because it's an LCD, which means the whole thing is backlit, which means it drains your battery. Unlike the Samsung phones, this drains your battery if you have that on, because the whole thing is on, because it's an LCD. So yeah. So just keep that in mind. But it also has a night mode, which is called Comfort View, where the screen turns to this yellow orangish hue, which will actually help you when you're using it at night. The screen is basically bezel-less with a small chin and a small top, but it's also equipped with Dolby's Vision 10 HDR. Now the display is gorgeous, but what about the performance? Well, this phone has a Snapdragon 421 processor. Well, here in the US at least. In other markets, it's a Snapdragon 435, which I don't know why. But it's a quad-core 2.3 GHz processor with an Adreno 530 GPU backed up with 4 GB of DDR4 memory. It has 32 GB of storage baked in, but you can also upgrade that to 2 TB via micro SD card. What? Now LG UI is terrible, alright? Some people might like it, some people might hate it. I tend to fall in the hated category. That's why I have a skin over it. But because of its custom UI, it didn't get software updates for a while. I've been stuck at Android 7.0 Nougat for a while until about a month ago when it finally got the 8.0 Oreo update. The phone is decent, but lags a lot. Like a lot. Sometimes it just freezes and you can't do anything for a solid 5 to 10 seconds, and then it just goes crazy. Especially Snapchat. Now I compared Snapchat on my friend's phone who had an S6. S6, right? 3 years ago this phone came out, S6. And Snapchat worked fine, but on this phone, it is super laggy. Sometimes you gotta wait like 10 seconds for the video to start rolling or take a photo, and it doesn't work. It crashes a lot. Snapchat is just so buggy on this phone, I don't know why. Again, the phone randomly crashes for no reason, and games run fine, except sometimes it can get super laggy. And the phone stays decently cool while gaming, but when you're charging it and gaming, oh my god, the phone gets super super hot, up to the point where you can't even touch it. I just hate how this phone is such a new phone and performance is definitely not on par with its specs, and it's one of its major drawbacks, especially for $900. This performance should be much better. Okay, so let's talk about the camera. On the back of the phone, there is a dual 13 megapixel camera, with one being a wide-angle f2.4 aperture with no autofocus, and then one being just a regular f1.8 lens with optical image stabilization. It has phase detection autofocus, a dual LED flash, and can shoot video up to 4K at 30 frames per second. Now, it does have a slow motion mode where it shoots 120 FPS video at 720p, but I rarely use that since the resolution is so low, and I just end up using the 1080p at 60 FPS and then slow it down 50%. Now, my favorite part in the camera is that there are different native aspect ratios. There is 2:1, 18:9, there is 16:9. There's so many aspect ratios natively, so when you bring it into your editor, it will be native and you don't have to add the stupid black bars into it. Just like here right now. So yeah, okay. Yeah, so it can be native. Yeah. So yeah. In my opinion, photos look good. They look decent. There's a bunch of colors. It's bright and it's not oversaturated, but it has some color into it. I'll let you be the judge. Let me know what you think in the comments. Now, in terms of video, it looks washed out a lot, and that's one of the things I hated about this phone, but I still used it for some of my YouTube videos. Also, sometimes the shutter button can get delayed. I don't know why, if this is a bug or if this is across all LG phones, but it's super delayed at times, even up to like 5 seconds waiting for the shutter to actually work. Maybe it's the HDR mode, I don't know, but I've noticed that. Now, the front camera is a 5 megapixel f2.2, shoots 1080p video only, and it is horrible. It's super washed out, even more than the back camera, and I'll let you be the judge. Here's some clips. Yeah, so the camera experience overall isn't too bad. It can take a while to load up, but hey, at least you can hook up an external microphone and monitor your audio while you're filming. So that's one cool thing. Now, they do have these different modes like pro mode, manual mode, beauty mode, and everything you can play around with, but to me, it's all just a gimmick. I mainly use the normal mode and the pro mode for when I'm using video, but other than that, I've never touched anything else. Battery life. So the phone has a 3300 milliamp hour battery, which can easily last me a day with light to moderate use and 3 to 5 hours with moderate to heavy use. At least it has Quick Charge 3.0, which means it can charge 50% in 30 minutes. So I thought I'd put it to the test. So I gathered the phone, the clock, plugged it in, started charging, and here are the results. It went from 4% to 17% in 30 minutes. This doesn't seem right. So I turned off the phone and I tried again, and this time it went from 17% to 66% in 30 minutes. So when you have your phone turned off, it'll charge pretty fast. The phone also has wireless charging if that's something you're into. Connectivity. So the phone has 802.11 AC Wi-Fi, Bluetooth 4.2, get ready for this, a headphone jack, a USB Type-C connector, FM radio, what? And it has a fingerprint reader on the back, which also doubles as the power button. The fingerprint reader is pretty fast, not gonna lie. This thing is one of the fastest fingerprint readers that I've ever tested. Alright, so my final thoughts. I'm gonna list some pros and then cons right after. The display and design are one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen, but the performance is super buggy. The camera is great when it works. I love the implementation of a USB Type-C connector and a headphone jack, and the phone stays pretty cool for most of the time, but the battery life really sucks. Like, sometimes I leave my phone on overnight and it will drain the battery 40% overnight. 40% in 12 hours. That's not acceptable. At the end of the day, it's all up to you. Do you want a beautifully designed smartphone with a tall 18:9 HDR UHD display, which also trades in performance, or do you want to go for a phone that's more oriented in performance and, you know, not so much the build quality and design? I love the LG G6. I love LG for sending it to me. Would I recommend it? For $700 brand new, There's no way. 500 used. If you can find it for cheaper than $500, 100% go for it. Thanks for watching. This is TSP. Like the video if you liked it. Dislike it if you didn't. I don't care. Drop a comment. I'll be replying to every single comment. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.